growing up, I didn't have a name for who I was or who I am.
El término como tal, afrolatino, o sea, es relativamente nuevo para mí.
You know, people even think that, you know, Afro really refers to a hairstyle.
Finally felt like just one phrase, one word that can embody who I am and where I come from in my culture.
We have to embrace what it means to be Afro-Latino, what it means to be Black, what it means to be Latino, and our cultures and customs that come with it.
The development of the term has been important to expand our understanding about the diversity and the expansiveness of the people that make up this hemisphere, of the people that have contributed to the development socially, politically, economically, culturally of this entire hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, the Caribbean. I think the importance is specificity to some degree, right? And an acknowledgement of a past that is both violent, but also has contributed so much that is joyous and vivacious to Latin American countries, Caribbean countries, and certainly the United States, right? So I think that it advances a project of recognizing the complexity and the richness that make up this pan-ethnic identity that is, you know, really has a hold in the United States, but often doesn't make space for the very complexities that make it what it is, right? With indigenous people, with African people, with Asian people, with Jewish people, with Muslim people, etcétera, etcétera.
O sea, antes eres como que negro y ya, pero ya aquí en Estados Unidos el término pues nace a raíz de estas, de todo, pues del portrait, ¿sabes? De cómo ellos portray black people y cómo ahora se dan cuenta que hay personas que hablan español. Creo que el Black History Month ha servido para atraer atención a todos los tipos de personas que están en este espectrum, digamos. Me parece muy positivo todos los eventos que se hacen alrededor de esto. Sí siento que muchas veces se vuelve un poco más como de los malos y los buenos, lo cual eso no me parece positivo, pero me gusta mucho como ponen en un pedestal a todo lo que es África y reconocen muchas cosas positivas que trajo la cultura africana a América. Entonces, por ese lado, sí me parece importante eso, la representación que eso trae.
Afro is not a race, and neither is Latino, Latina, or Latinx. Those are not races. They're not ethnicities, you know, but yeah, I think that term deracializes a lot of conversations or puts it in the context of just culture and doesn't really have a politic to that. I myself don't use that word. Like if I'm talking about myself, I'll say I'm a Black Puerto Rican. I don't use the terms. I don't get mad if somebody uses them or wants to invite me to speak about it. You know, it's kind of been out there for a long time. So, but when I do write or speak from my perspective, I say I'm a Black Puerto Rican. Then you'll say, what race? They'll be like, I don't know, I'm Puerto Rican, you know? So, but then it's good that it's being recognized. The problem is that it's also being taken away politics, right? It's like, let me talk about my hair all day and I'm blacker than black and that's it. I'm like, that's not what I do. Like, we gotta interrogate as well, like, why are we now the community that's being scapegoated in immigration, and how even it's playing out right now? Like, it is disturbing to see like a rapper like 50 Cent, a huge voice, to say he's going to vote for Trump because of all the migrants in New York and they're getting cards and all this. And I was like, but I've been seeing that particularly Latino and African-American men. So Latino men born in this country, African-American born in this country, they're starting to poll for Donald Trump.
You know, I knew that, you know, being in America, growing up in America, like race is something we've created. I'm a Black American. at home, my family is speaking Spanish, we're eating Peruvian food. It's all of this culture inside of the home. So then when you leave the house, that you go through a confusing period of like, who am I? How do I identify myself? How do other people identify me? And you kind of feel lost. So I feel like for a long time, I didn't know how to express my culture, my heritage, and who I am, because it was just very confusing to communicate that. And as I got older, I've learned about the term Afrolatinidad, Afro-Latin, and it was something that excited me, and I know excited people like me. So it's not something I learned until much later in my life.
Afro-Latinos are often misunderstood by both the Black and Latino communities and overall. And part of that is because our education system didn't teach the full story of how we came to the New World. So my hope is that we have a future where every Afro-Latino, where every person of color can walk into a room, walk into a business establishment, and be recognized for who we are, and not prejudged for something that is stereotypical.